What's up guys, Sub-Zero here. Today we're reviewing another one of Xunga's games, and it's not only because Xunga is the previous world champion, maybe one of the best players to play the game, but also because I was watching Xunga's stream the other day and noticed that he hit rank 1 in China again, which he held for a long time at the end of last set, but he hit it again. This guy is just a monster, so I wanted to check out some of his games to see maybe the things that he's doing on the new patch to do very well, especially considering we're going to be on this B patch for the next month. So any strats that he's using here, early game plans. Ooh, okay, so the first decision that's made there is he actually doesn't make 10 gold, right? Because you could make 10 gold in this situation. I think a lot of people, myself included, are really down anytime you can make 10 gold on an early round here to make 10. He decides to hold the anti-pair. I wonder if that's because he really prioritizes the Gadgettine opener with tier and giant spells. I remember the VOD we showed from his last time is he was playing around Zoe carry. So yeah, it looks like he really likes this Gadgettine opener, and he just says anti-pair so strong that we aren't gonna sell it to make 10, which makes a lot of sense. He has a really gross opener if he can find one Lulu, and if he can find Annie too, then it's insane. Oh my god, so much gold, which means he's only gonna get one item. And the pre-level, okay, that makes a lot of sense as well, right? He's digging for Annie too. The only pair he has here is Galio. He's already hit Wukong too. That pre-level makes so much sense. That's another thing that in the heat of the moment maybe I wouldn't, because I feel like pre-leveling has gone down a lot. A lot of people don't pre-level as much as they used to, but I think the pre-level there makes perfect sense. All right, let's check out these hero augments. Okay, so this is the scaling Ezreal one. This is the one they buffed this patch. So I'm actually quite interested in seeing if he ends up taking this one. And I also wanted to go check, I'm checking Mort Dog's Twitter right now for the patch notes, just to make sure that they are on the new patch. Okay, so yes, this is the new patch because it's 25% instead of 20. So this is the new patch. He could go for the Ezreal carry augment. You could also just go for this Rel one, which he's done a lot of the time. He doesn't have the best items for a Kaisa, Kaisa plus Vayne reroll. And then this one I think is, it's all right. I'd be really hyped to see him take this one. I actually don't know how strong it is. I haven't looked at the stats on it. Oh, okay, he goes for it. Nice. We have the Ezreal carry. He doesn't have a kill, right? So he can't actually play around. Oh no, he does have a kill. I was just blind. So he can actually play Underground as well and just use the upgraded Wukong. And he's even gonna make 10 here. Okay. The other option, yeah, I mean, I guess you have to make 10. You're already leveled to 4. It's not like you're gonna chill even longer on this board. Ooh, and I really like this positioning. So the idea behind this positioning, you group all of your units on the left side here so that if there's a unit there, you can kill it. Because this board isn't insanely strong, though it's still pretty strong. So I can see him winning some amount of these fights. But yeah, the idea is that you group all your units together so they all focus fire down one unit. So he fought a level 4 person here and immediately killed 2 units, where if he spreads his units around, it's possible that they spread the focus, especially with something like Underground, where oftentimes we're playing for Lost Streak. This makes a lot of sense. Okay. He's gonna immediately put the Lys in there, and then surely you put the Sona in over Hale, right? Unless you're trying to lose Streak. He gets Bruiser in here. Interesting. He's doing a lot of scouting. I wonder if he would call this a mistake or not, because this is obviously a weaker board. You get in a stronger unit with Sona and you get the hard synergy, which seems really good. But he might just be saying that he wants to play for Lost Streak here. This is an interesting decision, because I think with Underground, you're actually pretty happy to win Streak with Underground, because it's only 2 stacks. You only lose 1 stack per round. It's 2 stacks versus 3, 2 for win and then 3 for lose. So I would be happy to win Streak here. There's another Vi. You probably never double level, because that's really extravagant. You can just make econ here. The other thing is you could pre-level. You could either make 20 or you could pre-level. Okay, so looks like he's definitely trying to lose, or it could be that he's actually just really interested in making 20 gold here. He's scouting so hard. This is really... Oh, I wonder if he's actually looking to go an Ezreal reroll angle with this augment. I guess you have to, right? And so that's why he's scouting so hard. He's seeing if anyone else contesting this unit, but it's a pretty unpopular comp. Imagine Ezreal likes blue buff. Yeah, so you would take that. And you also just want him casting a ton with this augment, right? So yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. Okay, and then he's got the giant spell for a tank item. Okay, so it's actually your Ezreal reroll angle. Oh, I'm so happy we got to watch this game. Then he puts the Lee Sin back in. Okay, this I'm Like, taking Lee Sin out for one round and then putting it back in, I don't completely get. Unless there was someone in his pool who he specifically wanted to lose to. But he lost anyway. I guess maybe the call... Oh, this makes actually... Okay. Who can know for sure if it's true? But maybe the call... But, like, he ends up winning this fight. So he's going to have no streak. I was going to say, like, maybe he makes the call that his board's actually too strong at 2-3 here. But at 2-5, it's completely fine to bring in the Bruiser. Because a lot of other people are going to be... playing for, like, going level 5, basically. Oh, and he takes the cash out. This is something I've been thinking about recently, because the first cash out in this situation, like, I know you don't get as good stuff later. The thing is, like, if you take the cash out, you get this econ, which helps you hit 50 gold much faster, which is very, very good for your econ, right? The difference between making 50 here and making... I mean, he still would be making 30. Would he be making 40 regardless if he didn't take the cash out? He would, yeah, he could make 40, but now he can make 50. So he gets 1 extra gold of econ here. Like, I think it really makes sense if it pushes you from, like, making 30 gold to making 50 gold. But, like, from 40 to 50, I don't think it really makes that big of a difference. Interesting, though, because the only other reason why you would do this is if you're considering taking out Underground, which maybe he's gonna, like... But if you're hyper rolling, you'd do it at 6, right? Because you really want, like, the Ezreals. Like, there's no way you roll at 5 here. I've never played this comp before, so I'm really excited to see Shungo play around it. It's a comp that you can only really play with the augment, right? I don't think Ezreal reroll on its own is very strong, but with the augment, I think it makes a lot of sense. So I'm also interested to see what units he actually rolls around, because, like, Ezreal's a 3-cost, Vi's a very strong 2-cost. You could roll for both of them. You could even, like, roll for a board similar to this, just with this Sona in over here. I saw someone build a pretty strong board. They posted it to my Discord a while back, but it was like Underground reroll with, like, Sona and Lee Sin, and then you get, like, supers in as well on level 7 and 8. I think it's literally just this board, except, you know, obviously you don't have 2 Vi, so you have, like, another super in. You fit Alistar in at some point, because it fits in really well with supers and with Vi, because it gives you Mascot, and then it also gives you Aegis. No Ox Force in the comp. I don't think there's a way to fit that, unless you added, like, Annie for Spellslinger. So I guess a lot of options with this comp. But yeah, I'm really interested to see where he takes it. I've such Battlemage TG. Battlemage, I mean, like, makes some amount of sense, but putting Ezreal's second row seems very suspect. I think you just take the TGs here. Never really would imagine it's Knife's Edge. You could just take this for frontline, though. If we had, like, a 2-star Vi or something, I'd love to take this just to make our board stronger. I just don't really see how we're getting a lot of value out of Battlemage. It seems scary to me on a unit like Ezreal. So I guess, like, okay, so what do you get with the Ezreal augment? You get AP and attack speed. Yeah, you don't want Battlemage. Okay, yeah, it's always TG. Okay, so he's actually going to roll a bit here, which I think makes a lot of sense. You get it Ez too, I'd be very happy. Looks like he's holding the Rels as well. Holds on to that Vel'Koz. And a Ram. Oh, is it going to be threats plus Ezreal? And just, like, supers, if you can hold on to them. Kale too. He didn't hold on. Oh, no, he did hold on to the Echo, but he's not playing the Echo yet. I mean, Aegis early on I don't think is that strong. So it looks like it might be threats plus Ezreal. The only issue is that Ezreal's a 2-cost, so you want to roll for him at 6. Threats are 3-cost, so you'd prefer to roll for them at 7. So, yeah. Oh, and he didn't even have time to pick up his TG because he was getting busy sorting out all of his options. Even gods, even, like, one of the best players in all of TFT, maybe the best player, has times when he can't full pivot his board. It's just a nice reminder, you know? And man, we saw this. I've seen this in so many of Shunga's VOD reviews. Like, he's legit rolling down to 0 here. And he just says fuck supers. Okay. And he says I'm going the threat angle. He has these 2-star threats now. Like, the TG on to 2-star Cho'Gath feels so good here. But yeah, still no 2-star Ez. His board's a little weak here. Like, I don't know. If I'm in this spot, I'm like, I'm just going 8th this game. Let's go next. It's fine. It's fine. We can just go next on this one. But it's Shunga, so I'm sure he'll figure some way to make this into a better situation. So we still have just, like, the giant spell left over, right? Yeah. Oh, and we also have a cloak that we got. You go Ionic Spark. Don't really think you want to go, like, BT. I wonder how bad Morello's Ezreal is. I actually haven't looked at, like, Ezreal BIS, so I'm interested to see what he takes here. Because, like, surely it's blue buff. And then after that, looks like it says Morello's is pretty terrible. Looks like you just want straight up damage. What did he end up taking here? I was looking at Ezreal BIS. The glove. Oh, the Ezreal with glove. Okay, that makes perfect sense. 2-star Ez and a glove. I was looking at Ezreal BS, so I didn't see there was an Ez on the carousel. So that makes a lot of sense. You can just get the Ezreal and have the glove. That feels really nice. And he's just cashing out the gold every time. Really interesting. Huh. Because at this point, he's basically just using it as an econ trait. You could just like wait a little bit long. I mean, in this situation, like this is sort of what I was talking about. Going from making potentially 0 gold to making 2 gold of interest. Like, is that worth cashing out earlier? It might be. Having that extra gold also allowed him to roll down a bit deeper, like to roll down to 0. Oh, fuck, this is such a cool comp. Wait, because like, yeah, you can use Underground to give you extra gold that allows you to roll down really deep, and then use the rest, like Underground in the future, to repair your econ. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. It's similar to, it's kind of similar to like Astral Reroll, where you could roll down to 0 because having extra Astrals in, like the new Astral Reroll, having extra Astral units in would generate you enough econ that you would have enough econ that you could repair the gold that you spend on rolling it down to 0. So you roll your gold down to 0, but then Astrals generates you an extra few gold around, so then you get gold back. So you aren't completely wrecked econ-wise from rolling it to 0. That's really cool. Also, he's naturally a lot of good units, which is always a good sign. I wonder if he digs for Vi. I wonder, like, does he care about Vi 3 in this comp? Because he has 5 Vis. I mean, either way, you don't pick them up here. I think that makes a lot of sense because you want to let the orbs explode in case there's like a Vi or a Rammus in an orb or something. Okay. What do we have here? Like GS, obviously. And then the problem is like, you'd really prefer JG to IE. And then like Gargoyles makes a lot of sense. The question is like, what do you do with this sword if you go GS Gargoyles? It could even be Sunfire as well. GS Sunfire. You can even go GS Sunfire, BT, and Rammus. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. Or wherever you hit 3-star. I don't even hate that. I mean, let's see. What's the other option with sword? You could go like a Zeke's or something. I'm curious to see what he builds here. Well, he just goes... Okay, so he does just slam the IE. Interesting. Because it does still let him crit, and he is getting extra attack speed from Raider Spoils. So it's not the worst, right? We should actually look at the damage recap and see what percentage of his damage is AD. Okay. So maybe this is something that I have to work on, is like overvaluing the difference between JG and IE. Because like the only difference is that JG gives you AP and IE gives you some AD. But in like a situation like this where Ezreal does some amount of hybrid damage, yeah, look at his damage. If you didn't see it, the chart on the right there, look how much damage Ez did here, AD versus AP. It's completely equal. It's like probably like 45% AD, 55% AP. So IE makes perfect sense here. Like in a hybrid champ like this, IE seems great. Okay, I didn't realize that Ezreal's damage would be so hybrid in this spot. Uplink just to make Ez cast more seems great. Also, we could potentially farm more items off of Underground, and we also have the extra item from Man of Thieves. It's got to be this, right? I guess if you really want healing on Ez, you could take this. I'm thinking it's uplink here. Second Wind? I mean, they all seem like good options. I didn't talk too much about Second Wind, but the idea behind Second Wind is that this hero augment makes you want to make fights last really long. So Second Wind will, you know, go to that effect, make fights last really long. Okay, and so he just goes Second Wind. Interesting. Oh my god. Wait, he's only 2 Ez's off now. He's gonna send it to 0. He's 1 Ez off. Okay, so here he has to decide between holding on this Echo and holding these. So if holding Echo, the idea behind holding Echo is just because he's a really good unit. I don't think an Echo one's that important, but okay. Yeah. But okay, so I think he's not valuing Vi 3 very high here. He'd rather hold on to that Echo, though he had to end up selling the Echo anyway, so he would have had to sell the Vi anyway regardless. Yeah, I mean, Vi's the least important unit to hit here, right? You care most about all these. And is that the Sona 1 sitting on bench? Actually, I'm focused on other stuff, so it's like, do we have Sona 2 yet? Okay, there's Ezreal 3. Okay, and he's just gonna cash out the gold again, and then pick up the Ez. Wow, this is so cool. He's only 36 HP, but Ez3 is a big spike, and he's pretty close to everything else. So this is not how most people play around Underground. Like, this is such a cool way to do it, though. You just use as an econ trait and cash out your 11 gold or whatever every few rounds, and getting that injection of gold allows you to roll deeper and allows you to repair your econ faster. Like, look how strong his board is for stage 7 now. It looks great. What do we want here? We just have that Cloak sitting on Rammus. He's been doing way more scouting than me, but the two like main options would be a Declaw or a Gargoyles. Gargoyles tends to be better on Rammus because he scales with armor, but if the lobby's really AP heavy, it could be a Declaw. Oh, we could also go Ionic Spark. I think I've seen Shunga prioritize Ionic Spark Rammus in the past. I think it's quite good, right? Rammus jumps into the middle of their team. Maybe it's Ionic. Actually, like looking at this, there's a 5-cost rod. I would just go the Ionic. Yeah, okay. It's very, very good, and it's on a 5-cost, so we take those. You could also like even remove her and then have a Fiddlesticks on your board. Does he care? I mean, I don't think Fiddlesticks is actually better than Rammus too, but it might be better than, like, it could be better than nothing. Like, if you just level the 7 here and add Fiddlesticks, I don't hate that play. Like, what else are you interested in adding here? Recon for extra crit actually wouldn't be bad, especially with the crit buffs. Oh, wow. Oh. Wow. Okay, I thought he was Giga Brain, but then he just put it back on Rammus, so he just wasted a remover. The entire chat spams question marks somehow. I was like, wow, he's not going to put it on the Rammus? That's wild to me. And then he's like, wait a minute, I'm fucking trolling. Don't put it on Rammus. That's really good. Okay. Once again, you know, even Shunga does some troll stuff sometimes. All right. So I'll be interested how stable the comp is now. I mean, it's definitely strong for a few rounds. Once you hit Rammus 3, it looks really good. Add this for Aegis. God, it seems weaker than a Rammus too, though, doesn't it? I guess if all your matchups are AP. Yeah. No, there's one AD matchup, though. Wait, there's 2 AD matchups. I mean, this one's, like, mixed damage because of the Yasuo. A lot of AD from the Vayne. Looks like he's going to win regardless. Yeah, not too close either way. This Ezreal is a monster. Okay, we do look at the Ezreal damage output now, and it is a lot of AP now that he's casting more, and he's 3-star. So now the IE definitely seems worse than a JG, but I mean, just like, yeah, it's really hard for you to greed for JG in this position now that IE allows your spells to crit. So I think it makes a lot of sense. I've seen a lot of good players just with IE sitting on their AP units because they had to build it, basically. What else are they going to do? So it makes a lot of sense. Okay, Redemption has to be. Pathetic Shiv's, I guess, not horrible. I already have Ionic, though. It's horrible. Yeah, it's always Redemption. Also, I mean, they nerfed Redemption. Oh my god. What else could it be? He's going to Reforged here? Wow. Man, am I the only Redemption lover in this world? I feel like that item is so sick. I mean, they did nerf it this patch, so it's not as good anymore. And so now he's just going to put, put this Chalice here. I love this as well, putting the Chalice on the Alistar instead of the Vel'Koz, because so many times, just in all of TFT, there's always going to be AoE abilities that target your backline. By putting on an Alistar, you allow this unit to walk up so Ezreal and Vel'Koz are not right next to each other. So if the enemy team has some kind of AoE effect, it's not going to hit them both. I think that's really, really crucial. And a lot of people make the mistake of putting their aura items on another ranged unit on their backline. But I think you should pretty much, in most scenarios, unless there's like 0 AP spells in the meta, you should be putting them on a melee unit that can walk up. So yeah, I think that's makes a ton of sense. He has an Urgot he can play now. I mean, we have Alistar too, so you should definitely play the 2-star cow for now. And look at that, he's win streaking. I wonder if, like, do you go 8 for this Urgot? Or do you look at just rolling at 7 for these crucial upgrades? I mean, like, Cho'Gath 3 and Vel'Koz 3 are both going to be really big for your board. But at the same time, you're pretty stable. You can just level up for the Urgot. And then once you have Urgot in, your board will be much more stable. Like, we'll continue a win streak. Okay, looks like let's bring it down to ultra clear quality, I guess. The original painting quality was it's like basically no, it's a little bit worse, but you know, we're here for the analysis, not to see the follicles on Rammus's wings. Okay, he's gonna play Silver Vi here. I mean, he has a lot of front line. We're got 1 over a Vi 2 that's providing you Aegis. Okay, I mean, one, you can make the call and just say Urgot's just gonna farm me loot anyway. So like, if I'm gonna win every fight, you should always put an Urgot instead of Vi. And it looks like he is winning every fight. And the other thing is like, maybe it's like it's only a downgrade a little bit. I do think it is still a downgrade though. I think it is weaker. You can get like TG here. I want to look at his board again to see which of his units don't have items. Oh, he's also scouting this board because this person has 5 Cho'Gath, so he really wants them to die, and then he needs to... Okay, so He's probably going to go 8 in this situation, get the Vi back in, wait for this person to die, and then roll for Cho'Gath, I would imagine. With 5 out of the pool, you don't really want to be contested in this spot. Damn it. I want to see what his board was. He flashes back to it for like a half second. He goes here, and he goes here, and then he goes here, and then he looks back at his board for like, yeah. Okay. The third Rammus item would be great. A TG Vel'Koz wouldn't be bad either. There's not really a good Rammus item here. You go just like a damage item on Vel'Koz as well. JG Vel'Koz. I like Shroud a lot. Yeah, he's gonna go JG Vel'Koz. Makes sense. If he had that remover still, he could have moved it to Ezreal. Edge. He's gonna JG Rammus? No way, dude. Come on. Yeah. Okay, Fiddlesticks is acceptable as well. Okay, and so now he's just gonna chill, wait for that person to die, and then he'll roll for everything 3-star. I'm surprised. I don't know. Let's actually look at damage dealt to champions after the fight. Fiddlesticks versus Vel. I would imagine Vel is better, especially because we're probably gonna hit Vel 3 this game. Let's see. I mean, this fight, yeah, Vel did about half as much damage as Fiddle. So, it definitely seems strong. I mean, it scales very well with the fact that Fiddle gets extra AP. Also, notice how he's positioning Fiddle. It's not front rowed, it's second row. So, it's still gonna cast, like, not last in the fight. It's gonna cast if Ezreal is ever under threat, but it's not right on the front row casting immediately. That's really interesting positioning. So, it's not like, yeah. I mean, you also have the Urgot that pulls the entire team in, which makes a lot of sense for Fiddle. But yeah, basically you let your frontline die, and then you have Fiddlesticks as kind of like a, in case of emergency, button to protect your Ezreal. I like that a lot, actually. That's really cool. I haven't seen people position Fiddle like that, but that makes a ton of sense. So just like second row your Fiddle instead of first row or fourth row. Because if you put it in the last row, like sometimes he's like Ezreal dies before Fiddle, and you're like, what am I doing? But if you just put Fiddle up a little bit from Ezreal, then he can cast before Ez dies, but after your frontline has died. Especially because he's a JG now. You really want him to use all that extra AP. He's looking like he's going to take Zeke's here. Wait. Oh no, we already have Sunfire. Okay, yeah, then it has to be Zeke's. Okay. Is that person dead yet? Looked like no, right? He's scouting so much. I mean, it's really good gameplay. Infinite scouting. Gonna move the Fiddle up to the front line here in this matchup. Interesting. I wonder why that is. This one I have no intel on. Why Fiddlesticks early in this matchup makes a lot of sense. Like, he basically wants it to cast really fast in this matchup. It could also be... Oh, okay. I'm not 100% sure, but is the idea that versus Talia, having Fiddlesticks here in front of the Ez can create a really annoying scenario where it makes it very easy for Talia to ult like this and hit this clump with Ez and Vel'Koz, whereas if you move Fiddlesticks up, then Talia's always going to ult this way? I think that might actually be it, positioning-wise. Because now, especially with this Chalice here and the Alistar walking up, she's not going to ult this way, she's going to ult like this, or even like this maybe sometimes. Yeah, he ults right through there, and then Ezreal gets to dodge the Talia cast. Like, see, 2 Talia casts in, she still hasn't hit. 3 Talia casts in, she still hasn't hit Ezreal. Okay, that's really, really nice positioning. I like that a lot. Yeah, I mean, these are just the little things you can think about every time you're playing the game. Like, tiny little optimizations you can make. Was that the person with the threats in? No, it looks like they had a bunch of Bruises in. Looks like he's just going 9 as well. Doesn't even care about hitting these threats 3-star. I mean, to be fair, Vel'Koz is unitemized. So Cho has a TG. But I guess the person with the threats is still alive, right? I didn't actually keep track of what their name was, especially because I can't read the names. I usually just memorize the characters. But maybe they're still alive, so he doesn't think that it's reasonable to hit everything 3-star at 8. This is not them, right? They weren't the Draven player. It could also be that he just thinks like, fuck it, like my board's strong enough. Who needs it? Okay, and now he's just gonna roll down for 2 stars, cap out his board really hard. I don't actually know what the weather is this game, but oh my god. Okay. And so you can see, like, in this matchup, you don't actually really care about getting AoE'd, so we can move it to a backliner. I mean, his board's just so insanely strong. I don't know what the weather even was there, but I mean, I don't think it makes... Wait. Actually... Ow. Does Fiddlesticks have him here? Jesus, that was such a close fight, actually. I did not expect it to be that close. Zephyr seems amazing. Yep, just take a Zephyr on a stage 6 carousel. That's a world champ tip. Oh my god, they literally FF'd when he got the Zephyr. That's fucking hilarious. All right, That was a really fun VOD review. A really cool Ezreal reroll comp that I would not expect. That I haven't seen. And then also a really cool way to play Underground that I've never seen anyone do before. That just take the first cash out every single time to replenish your econ. That was a really cool game. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please interact with the video in some way, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content. Also check out the link to my Twitch down below to catch me when I go live. All right, I'll catch you guys later.